Hi, welcome to Living in the Light, and I'm Mary Amy. I'm coming to you live from New York. I'm all about shifting away darkness, guiding you to your truth potential, and cracking open that beautiful glowing light in your heart. Welcome to the fifth dimension. Hi, how are you? I know, I haven't been here in a while. I was only on live last week, one night. And I'm going to make excuses. No, they're not excuses. It's real stuff that I've been going through, and I'll share with you. I guess it's a combination of me having some difficulty with sleep. I'll wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning and then I can't go back to sleep. And so I'm tired. And so by the time I'm out of my job in the matrix, the illusion, by 6 o'clock, I'm exhausted. So I've been basically sleeping more, and my patterns, my daily patterns have changed. So I apologize. I'm sending you an apology. And we all go through these things from time to time. Now I wonder, because I saw the Schumann resonance, the I guess it's the machine that tells us about the Earth's magnetic field and what kind of reaction it's having. And there's more of those solar flares hitting the Earth, and there's bands of white coming down on the graph. And that's a sign that there's more light. And when there's more light, it seems to be that I need more sleep. I don't know how it goes for you. So today is July 25th. Today's a big day. We're at the end of the 77777 portal, but today's a big day because it's a day of manifesting. And I know it's coming up late for me to be telling you this, but you might have been paying attention and you already know this. So it's the last day of the 777 portal. And that means that you can utilize the 5D energy and we can manifest. I'm going to get into divine light. So tonight we're going to cover topics like beehives, and I'll tell you why. And world crash. There's some speculation about that. And divine light. Of course, I'll touch on angels and psychic phenomenon. So how is everyone? How's everybody been doing? It's been a little bit of a heat wave here in New York. It's kind of this air that feels very like kind of muggy, and you feel like when you walk outside, you're in an oven. Hey, music, thanks for joining us. You see Elsa over here. She's taking a little nappy on the couch. She's been here for quite a while. I think the hot weather it's very humid, is affecting her as well. And I guess it's a time to drink a lot of fluids, have fruit, definitely get some exercise if you can, maybe spend time in nature. I'm going to mention dreams. Last night, I have to tell you, this is one of the reasons why I had a very odd dream. I don't know if it was considered remote viewing, a premonition, if it was in real time, and it was disturbing. So I had a piece of paper somewhere here, and I had written down the dream, and then it got mixed up, but I'll find it later. But I still have a very vivid memory of my dream. I hope you're taking the time to either write down in maybe a dream journal. Like this is one that I actually wrote a little introduction for, and you can find it on Amazon. You don't have to do that. You can just get a composition book or write it on a scrap of paper. Our dreams will tell us about our future. Our dreams, our sleeping dreams, will give us a direction to go in and validation and maybe premonition. You might write down a dream today or tomorrow morning, and then a year from now you look at it and it's come true. It's somebody that you never knew was going to come into your life and you had dreamt about them prior. Now maybe you'll have an out of body experience in the astral realm, because when we sleep, we leave our bodies. And you might travel to another dimension. I don't know if that's what happened to me last night. So personal experience, this is the disturbing part. I was down under the ground in the inner earth. There was tunnels, and we've heard about these tunnels, and I've spoken about them, the DUMS tunnels. And they are stretching across our planet. They're all over the place. There are maybe hundreds of thousands. Now, I haven't seen them for myself. I've heard about them. I was in these tunnels last night in my dream. And I wasn't alone. There was hundreds and hundreds of children. And some of them were real children, and some of them were shape-shifting children because they didn't seem like real children. They seemed very strange. It was almost as though they were trying to trick me. And I was there by myself, and there was food, and I remember trying to help them and save them and guide them. And it went on and on and on. And it woke me up at 4 a.m. and I wrote it down. And then I couldn't go back to sleep because it just was so disturbing. Now, I've said to you that the more that we can basically embrace darkness, then the more light we can bring into ourselves. So some of the things that we are hearing about or there's disclosure about, and we take, for example, the Sound of Freedom movie and this other movie called Cages and other human trafficking movies and child trafficking, they might become so upsetting to you that you can't handle it. And it might take time for you to be able to process it. Don't force it. I believe that a year ago, I probably would never have had a dream like I did last night because it would have sent me spinning in a direction for weeks. And I probably would have been dwelling on it and upset, and I might have been traumatized by it. And I guess because I've been paying attention and reading and researching and talking about some of these topics, I'm able to accept it. And yes, it's upsetting, obviously, because then I never went back to sleep. And I'm just giving you personal experience just because maybe you'll know a little bit more about me. And if something like this happens to you, you won't think it's out of the unusual. Because I don't know if it was in real time, if this was something from the past, if I was channeling the truth. I'm not quite sure. Like I say, unless I see something for myself, I don't believe it. However, what was this all about? This was about the fact that there is so much evil that's been inhabiting our earth. And maybe it's humans. Maybe it's not humans. Maybe it's another species of beings. Or it could just be possession. Maybe Satan or the devil is possessing people and they're doing evil acts against other humans. I don't know. I do believe from what I'm reading and hearing about is we will know about this. Everyone on the planet will be hearing and seeing this, and it's going to come through in real life, in the outer world. It's not going to just be a conspiracy theory or some kind of rumor. We are going to be seeing this with our own eyes, the truth, the stories from real people. And we're going to be hearing about military tribunals and executions and all of this kind of very upsetting stuff. Yes, we all need to integrate the darkness because the line between good and evil turns runs through everyone's heart. Yes, so we all have good and I don't want to say evil, but we all have positive and negative attributes within us and characteristics. And some might have worse than others. And I'm going to get into divine light because I want to talk about some positivity and how we can shift away some of this darkness and actually embrace it more. So anyway, about our dreams, I suggest you write them down. Also, I want to remind you to consider having a good intention and a commitment to do your best with any kind of task or endeavor that you are participating in your life, because it will turn out better. Your thoughts will change the outcome, and you will realize that as time goes on, the more you practice your controlling of your thoughts and how you think of things, and maybe having some kind of mantra with an I am powerful, I am brave, I am patient, whatever you choose it to be, it will change you. And all of these little efforts on your part will definitely change you in time. And before you know it, it's going to be behind you. Any kind of issues or difficulties you're having will eventually be behind you. When you ask for, you shall receive. So our thoughts are powerful, our intentions important, and our sleeping dreams are as well. All right, well, so beehives. Why am I getting into beehives? Well, I'm going to tell you, it's a strange roundabout circuitous route that I had with this. I was hearing some of these terminologies about a hive mind, and I didn't realize that some of that was technology terminology. And then I just said, I want to learn about bees and beehives, because I know that they pollinate, and I've heard that there's been a disappearance of bees in the past few years, and I wanted to find out what that's all about. And I wanted to find out if it's true, whether or not, if bees completely disappeared, how would we fare? How would things go for humans if bees, like honeybees, weren't around anymore? What would happen? And it made me wonder. So bees. So a beehive is a dwelling place constructed for bees, and it's a nest of any bee colony. There's a lot of different types of bees. There's honeybees, bumblebees, stinging bees. And what do? They produce honey and they pollinate many types of flowers, many types of flowering plants. And I don't know if you realize it, that they actually flower 75% of plants, and 35% of the world crops need bees. And we're talking about fruits and vegetables. They need bees. So we do need bees. And I wondered about, what is the meaning of bees? Is there something positive related to bees? And we're talking about bees that go bzz, bzz, I don't know. I mean, all of us have heard of bees, haven't we? And we know what they are. Well, the Greeks and Romans said an ideal society of prosperity. That's what bees was to them. It symbolizes an ideal society and prosperity. So bees are actually very positive. And I've mentioned different creatures that are, like, for example, elephants are known to be sacred. And bees are basically stand for unity under one ruler. And that's where beehives came from. And that's where the terminology hive mind. So I'm going to get into that in a second, but I want to just stay on the subject of bees for a minute. And what exactly do bees do? So bees' message has to do with levels of productivity. Because what are bees? Well, bees, there's the queen bee, and their beehives are known as colonies, an apiary. And in Christian tradition, the bee is the emblem of Christ, whether you realize it or not. So bees have a lot of luck surrounding them, if you want to say symbolically. Like I said, productivity. And they stand for unity. Now, bees also is the emblem of Christ. I didn't know that. I went down the rabbit hole of bees, and I found out that they are the emblem of Christ. Now, I've realized lately that rather than jump around, I would rather stay on a topic just to give as much information as I can, because maybe there's something that's going to resonate with you, and you'll have a takeaway. And you won't just think that they're annoying or we should be fearful. Most bees are useful to mankind. Honeybees are very useful. And like I said, they are pollinating 35% of fruits and vegetables across the world crops, and 75% of flowering plants. So bees are used as images to convey God's blessings. Now, this is all news to me too. I didn't know this. Maybe you did know this. They represent God's love, God's blessings, wisdom, things of great worth. Maybe we should bow down a little bit to bees because they seem to, there is some kind of ancient, I guess, ancient symbolism to bees. And the Egyptian believed honeybees as passengers that we cannot live without. And there has been this decline in the last few years of bees, and we wonder why. Anyone who's joining us, I hope you like the video and subscribe to the channel. Why was there this decline in bees? Because they said that there was this issue related to pesticides. There's this parasite, and it affected bees. And there's an issue related to their home. There isn't as many homes for bees, and I guess that has to do with deforestation. They don't have the same kind of environment to exist. And we have to pay attention to this because we want to preserve as much as we can of God's creatures, of nature. And I know that we want to build beautiful homes and we want to live in communities. However, what about the wildlife that was here before us? And we should pay attention to that. And maybe that has to do with commercialism and consumerism. And I guess we're all about selling and buying and our economy. And we should look into more about nature's creatures rather than always thinking about ourselves. And that's kind of why I want to get into divine radiance, divine light later. And I want to mention something right now. I'm going to just jump off the subject of bees. And I had heard this in Buddhism. I had studied Buddhism for a while. And I don't know if you know about the law of one and service to others. There's service to self and there's service to others. And the service to self is it's all about me. Me. More for me. Everything's about me. And my thoughts, 95% of my thoughts are all about me. 95% of my thoughts and actions are all about me. And that's really service to self. And then there's what's called service to others, which means 51% of your thoughts and actions are about others, looking out for others. And we are all connected. So the buck doesn't stop with you. And when we are taking care of others, we're really taking care of ourselves, as well as if someone else is injured, you're injured too. I don't know if you've ever heard of the butterfly effect, when the wings of a butterfly is the flapping wings of one butterfly affecting the world somewhere else, maybe causing a tsunami, something. And all of our thoughts and our words and actions, our energy takes on a vibration. And our energy can affect others just like our thoughts can. So it's really important for us to consider others, and not just randomly or once in a while, and the rest of the time it's all about me. And what can I do for me? It's important more than just once in a while thinking about others. It's important to think about others most of the time. Because like I just said, you don't want to be doing things just to gain something. I'm not saying that. But there's what's called karma. And you might have karmic debt. And what is karmic debt? Well, you can have karmic debt and it can be generational. So somebody from your family did something naughty, something bad, and you're affected by it because you're an ancestor of them. And you can also have your own karmic debt. So if you did some bad things, you're going to have to pay it off. And eventually, if you do enough good deeds, you're probably going to be on the other side of karmic debt. You're going to have good karma. Well, back to Buddhism. So there's what's called the generating the four immeasurables. And I don't know if you've ever heard about the four immeasurables. Anyone who's joining us, write in the chat. Tell me where you're coming from. I want to hear. It adds a lot to the video. And for others, if you're participating, so do that. So the generating the four immeasurables, it's I'm going to read it to you. May everyone be happy. May everyone be free from misery. So may everyone be happy. May everyone be free from misery. And we're wishing that upon, the masses. We want good things for others, don't we? Just because we are beings of light, we're highly advanced beings of light. We want other things. So may no one ever be separated from their happiness. Isn't this beautiful? May no one ever be separated from their happiness. And then may everyone have equanimity, free from hatred and attachment. Isn't that wonderful? So hatred, where's hatred coming from? Don't you wonder, where does that come from in people? You say, where does hate come from? Well, hate comes from an injured heart. Now, hate's definitely coming. I don't believe that we're born with hate. We might be born with a personality that is mercurial or difficult, or something that we came into this incarnated here, and it might be something a little bit different, maybe a little sad, maybe a little tragic. I don't know if we come into this world with hate. I think we gain some of these low vibrational emotions through experiences that we've had. Maybe we're born into a family and they don't understand us, or we have a crisis and it's chronic. We might have been criticized from the time we're little all the time. Someone's on top of us telling us what to do, and we can never really develop ourselves. And so we are blocked. And maybe you start to have hatred towards yourself. If you're hating others, you really don't like yourself. I don't know if you realize that. If you're going out there and you're spewing anger and hate at others, like mean stuff, and you're saying mean stuff, and you're constantly criticizing and hating others, that means you don't really love yourself. So it starts with yourself. I'd like you to tune into your heart right now. I'd like you to close your eyes if you choose to. Everything I say is a suggestion. It's not a have to. I just make suggestions, because guess what? It's easier if we know we don't have to do it. It's a suggestion. And maybe another time you want to. So I'd say close your eyes if you'd like to. Let out a breath. Maybe you want to let out some words if something's bothering you, something that you had throughout your day. Or maybe it's something maybe you physically have an ailment, you don't feel good. Whatever it may be, let's try to let it out through our breath. Oh, might be a long day. It might be from yesterday. It might be something you're considering and you're focused on not today or yesterday. It might be something in your future. And you're like, oh my gosh, I don't want to do that. And you just, So then I'd like you to tune into your heart. I'd like you to imagine right in your heart, the core of your heart. So it's your heart chakra. We're going to get into chakras a little bit today, later when we do psychic phenomenon. So here's your chakras, right? And they run right through your body, and they even run outside of your body. So you have 7 chakras within your body, in your vessel. And so your heart chakra is right here, right? And you're tuning into that, the core of it, and you're just imagining light within you. Imagine some light within your heart, maybe the size of a tennis ball, and it's beaming, and you're accessing it. You're accessing this light, and it's almost like you can physically feel it and touch it. If you were to stick your finger inside your heart, you could feel this light. And you're making this light part of you. And you're actually internally asking for this light to bring you love. And maybe you're even going to consider who's someone you love. Maybe it's a relative, maybe it's somebody in your life. It might be even someone from your past. I want you to go to that love, because that's how we take away some of the anger or hate or low vibrational emotions that we have, is by really, really focusing. It's not going to just go away on its own. We have to practice, and we have to really, really do some inner work. I promise you this will make a difference. I know this for myself. And it's like over time, all of a sudden, you're going to bring forward so many aspects of yourself that you didn't know even were within you, because you were crushed, or you were broken, or you were in pain. And so we're going to say to ourselves, I want this love. I want this love that I've had in the past or right now. I want it to really fill my heart. I'm going to keep my mouth shut for a second, and let's try to do this. Maybe you want to remember something, for instance, a circumstance that you had with this person, and you just felt them with you, with your presence. Maybe you want to visualize them, and they're probably somebody positive in your life if you have love for them, or they gave you something that you didn't have before. And I'm not saying it's something material. It might just be an experience that you had with them. All right, so I'd like you to try to remember that from time to time. If this person is important to you or was important to you, when you're feeling some kind of hate or anger, imagine the tennis ball that's the size, a ball of light that's the size of a tennis ball, and it's beaming out and it's filling all of your heart chakra. And on top of that, a person that you have love for or has given you love. Hey, music. Everyone outside of us is a mirror. Thank you. Yes, that's why like attracts like. So you will find that the more love that you can have within your heart, then the more that you will attract other people that will bring love to you. So let me just finish speaking about bees, and then we're going to get on to the world crash and some news that is going on right now in the world. And so without bees, let's realize that without bees, then there's going to be a decline for humanity, because we're not going to be able to have as many produce and nutrition. So bees have one of the most sophisticated pheromones, I don't know how to pronounce it, driven communication systems of all of nature. So the honeybee is the largest of the bees, and they are 2 centimeters. They're twice the length of a worker honeybee, of a worker bee in a colony. So bees are mentioned in the Bibles, and they're viewed as prophetic, I guess, messengers, where they are basically giving you a message. So maybe if you occur or have an experience with a bee, you're then going to have some kind of premonition, or it's going to be an event is going to transpire after that, or maybe occur simultaneously. So they definitely symbolize triumph over evil, good over evil. That's what honeybees or bees represent. And now bees will make a louder sound, a buzzing sound, depending on their mood. If they're threatened or if they are distressed, it will sound more of a loud vibration, more of a loud intensity if they feel that they are threatened or distressed. So they're able to notice our individual features, whether we realize it or not. Humans, they're able to realize humans' features. Now, I don't know how they came up with this scientifically, but I guess there was experiments with bees. I don't know. So the disappearance basically of bees is basically from loss of habitat, pesticides, insecticides, and 40% of colonies more recently were affected by parasites. And it's called a varroa parasite. Now, I want to just mention before we get on to the world crash, I had heard about this terminology, hive mind. And a hive mind is the collective thoughts and ideas and opinions of a group of people. And I don't know if you've ever heard of, it's called, uh, what is it called? Is it called thinking groups or thought groups? And they ask for a group of people's ideas or um, um, beliefs about something, and that's how they kind of test products. And it's kind of a focus group where they bring a group of people in and they try to get collectively what their perception is. And that's why I wanted to bring these terminologies up, because I'm hearing more and more of this, and they're using these kinds of terminologies on different social medias. So a hive mind is a group of people functioning together as a single mind. And I kind of think in a lot of ways, that's what these um, secret societies, and that's what the one world government theory is about one single mind, and all of us have to follow it. And I'm not really into that. I don't think that that's a good idea personally. I believe that we should have our own freedom and independence, and we shouldn't be following the masses, because all of us separately create the world. It shouldn't be one or a few individuals that create the world. All of us should create the world that we want to live in. So a hive mind, a strong tendency with this collective consciousness, act as a community, a global hive. If you have this hive mind, I believe there's a better chance of failure. I believe that we should have many of us giving our perspectives and opinions. That's just me. Anyone who's joining us, I hope you like the video and subscribe to the channel. All right, moving on, because I've been getting off the beaten path tonight. So the news that I've been hearing is about the de-dollarization, and JP Morgan mentioned this today in the news. The de-dollarization is in the works. Tension between US and China, the value of the dollar, the erosion of the dollar's market share in global reserves. I also am hearing that they're trying to impeach Joe Biden. An investigation, international businesses, the dealings of President Joe Biden, and discussions with his son Hunter. And then I also am hearing about a new financial system. I'm crossing my fingers that it's going to be the quantum financial system, quantum computing. I know that we are all healing, as well as the earth is healing, and we are ascending. I don't know if that's maybe one of the reasons why I've been having lack of sleep. I know that in the past 10 days, I'm having some personal issues. I've been having some health issues, and that might have been affecting my sleep. Or it might be that there are these solar flares hitting the earth, and the more that are becoming awakened, and that's through disclosure, then the more of us are shifting, because we are energy, we are operating on a certain vibrational frequency, and because of that, we are having this more susceptibility to connecting with other energies, other creatures, whether it be nature, whether it be other humans. And we are receiving, like I say, we are a transmitter and we are a receiver. And so maybe that's one of the reasons why I had this very strange dream last night. So the quantum financial system I've mentioned before. I'm going to get into the world crash of the dollar. Let me just mention the quantum financial. So it would be something that's not influenced by government policies or restrictions. It would be backed by gold, platinum, and silver. And it's not based on paper like the dollar. I do believe we are going to head into a place of advanced technologies, the med beds. We are going to be utilizing other ways of transportation and accessing that already exist, whether we realize it or not. They're existing right now in this time frame, in this moment here. I guess we can open up our minds and consider that there's so much more out there that's existing in the universe, whether it's cosmically off planet or on planet, that we have no idea about. And that might just well be about healing technologies. It might be related to advanced supersonic spaceships or vehicles that we can be transported in. Maybe it's going to be something like time travel. There might be an actual vehicle for time travel that already exists, or a way of transporting ourselves without any vehicle. I know that it sounds far-fetched if you haven't had an open mind, and it might sound as though I'm saying something that's ridiculous, or wow, she's lost it. However, I would like to say that we know nothing. We have been shielded from so much, and we have been sleeping. We've been sleeping because we've had what's called mind control. We've had what's called MKL programming. And it was something that's existed for hundreds of years. And if you put someone in a circumstance from their birth that they are told over and over, and they've been stifled about certain systems, certain beliefs, thought attachments, and you just tell them and you limit them and you put them in a box, and they are not seeing outside the box, then of course they're not going to know anything else. So we're just discovering right now, hey Trident, we're just discovering right now, because we're awakening, that there's other, I don't know why I was holding that up, the dollar. There's other possibilities that we're going to find out about. So it's an exciting time right now. And I'd like you to just branch off and maybe even allow yourself to get a piece of paper to write down anything that you receive. And I'm talking about not just now in this moment, when you're not here with me, something that you're receiving, and it's going to come through. It's an impression. It's going to come through as maybe a mental picture, someone's voice. You might feel something, hear something. It might be in a dream state when you're sleeping. Might be a lucid dream when you're waking up or falling asleep. Throughout your day. And the more that we are all allowing this to happen for us, then the more of ourselves are going to be evident. And I'm realizing I'm fascinated by this now. And what do I mean by that? I'm fascinated because I sense that there's a lot that's about to take place. And I'm not saying bad stuff, I'm saying good stuff. There's a lot that we're going to kind of, I guess, meet up with soon. And it's going to be exciting. All right, so the world crash. I want to bring up the world crash. Hey, Bob Harding. How synchronistic. I witnessed the importance of bees today and my involvement of it. Well, there you go. That means maybe, I decided I was going to have the subject of bees yesterday, and I just couldn't do the show. I was like, I'm so tired. I have to go to sleep. And then I wake up at 4 a.m. And then I'm just like, oh, maybe I should do the show now. I'm like, I'm not going to do the show at 4 a.m. So we're running on the same parallel, aren't we, Bob Harding? Thanks for telling me that. It gives me validation. So the world crash. The world is crashing in many respects. We are crashing. We're basically hitting a wall, aren't we? We're hitting a wall because there's so much that is obviously false. There's so much that doesn't make sense right now. And I think that's a good thing. I think we have to watch it. We have to watch what's happening. We have to accept it. We have to go to a place of acceptance. And I speak about planning. I speak about preparing. What is your plan? What do you want? What kind of life do you want? Because it looks like we're about to embark on some kind of big change. Now, today, there was a meeting going on, today and tomorrow. I want to say a couple of facts that came through. I'm saying facts because it's through the press that I'm hearing this, and we know how much that's true. That's propaganda. Vladimir Putin signed into law a bill today for digital ruble. So it is because of the CBDC, the creation, and it's set to start August 1st, the Bank of Russia. And I've spoken about BRICS. Now, there's this whole, I don't know, it's kind of blowing up on me. I'm not really quite sure what to believe because I've mentioned the quantum financial system, which is quantum computing. And that's going to be so great. Nasara Jassar, the end of the IRS. Now we're hearing about this Fed now. Is the Federal Reserve actually still in existence? Are there people inhabiting the Federal Reserve building? We know that they've been printing money, printing dollars, lots of dollars. What's about to happen? This BRICS? All right, so let me just cover a little bit about everything. Do I know the answer? I have no answer. I did have a dream last week. I don't know if I mentioned it, and it was about I got into line because there was no more, they weren't allowing using my debit card or dollars. And I said, so what do I do? How am I going to buy my food? Do I just pull off a piece of gold? So I know that this is coming through to me. However, I don't know how much of this is because I'm talking about it. Which came first, the chicken or the egg? Is it something I'm receiving, an impression? Thought transference, telepathy? Or is it because it's a premonition? So there's the monetizing debt, dollar replacement. Treasury bonds are not being accepted. Now the markets are starting to resemble the 1929 crash. Remember the dot-com bubble? And this all started with the Silicon Valley Bank crash. It crashed a few months ago, as well as the Signature Bank, and then they bailed it out. So the Federal Reserve is now FedNow Instant Payment. They've launched that. What is the CBDC? Is it going to be a good thing? I don't believe it is. I'm not for the CBDC, which is the central bank digital currency. It's going to be issued by a central bank, which means that they can shut off and they say, you know what? You can't buy that. They're not going to let you buy things that they don't want you to buy. They can shut down your bank account. There's also a chance that they're going to be putting it in your hand. And then it's a little chip. It costs $300 and they put it in your hand. It's a little operation. And then that's how you pay for things. I'm not into that. You know, I'm not into that. I'm all about organic and natural, no man-made. Just like I'm not into brain chips. I'm not into these chips that you put in your hand. I'm not into this central bank digital currency. And they're going to utilize this to replace cash and your little credit cards. None of that anymore. So it's a tool for control. No thanks. I'm not into it. A think group. Yes, group think. That's right. Thank you so much. That's the hive mind. Oh my gosh, delayed response. Sorry about that. I didn't see that. So the WEF, the World Economic Forum, is really promoting this right now. They're like, oh, we're going to have these brain chips, these hand chips. It's not a big deal. Oh, no. They're going to participate in society. And you're basically basic things. They're going to tell you whether or not you can buy them. Food, water. And there's not going to be any more credit cards. And so it's a tool for control. It would be electronic form of digital currency, central bank money, and citizens are used to making payments with. So you'd be paying with this. And I don't think it's a good idea. I'm really totally actually against it right now. It's not something I don't feel, it doesn't resonate with me. It's not positive. I don't know what's happening here. I don't know if this is going to be pushed through or if it's just a lot of hype, because from what I'm hearing from, you know, collective consciousness with the truthers, those that are awakened, they're not into this at all. This is more or less the one world government that's trying to push through this central banking digital currency. So China government says the dollar is the main source, of instability and uncertainty. I did read about something called the Bretton Woods Three. I don't know if you've ever heard of the Bretton Woods system. And it's a system of monetary management established the rules of commercial relations among US, Canada, Western Europe, Australia, and Japan. So after 1944 Bretton Woods Agreement, it requires countries to guarantee convertibility of their currencies into US dollars. So is the US dollar going to lose its value and we're not going to even have paper money anymore? We're just going to have maybe gold, silver, the equivalent of gold, silver, and these minerals. And we're going to release the dollar. I'm not sure. Is there going to be no more printing money? So the Federal Open Market Committee met today and is meeting. And they're meeting, and it's the Federal Reserve Board. Now, the Federal Reserve Board is a bunch of governors. So there's 12 members, 7 members of the Board of Governors for the Federal Reserve System. And we've spoken about that, and that's about the IRS, and they're taxing us. And is that going to be obliterated? Are we still going to have the IRS that we have to pay? Are we going to get debt forgiveness and no more credit cards? That's what I'm hoping for. So the CBDC is it's a social credit score, and it's about censorship. So if they don't like something that you're saying, like for example, if they didn't like that I'm talking about something, then they would basically say that you can't buy food, or they'd shut down my bank account. And it sounds really ridiculous to me. And to me, that sounds like science fiction. I believe that none of this is going to go through, because we really don't know what's happening in other countries unless we're there and like you're talking to someone. Let's say they say that this is already happening in Australia. I really need to be talking to someone in Australia, because whatever's going on the mainstream media is basically going to be our government feeding us propaganda. I don't watch any news. I don't know what's going on in the news. I don't believe the news. I think it's all made up. Oh my gosh, Jenny's here. Wow, you guys are really writing some messages. Thanks. Those weak countries all need ankle bracelets. Oh, those criminals? Cronies. I'm starting to believe, I'm going to stop talking about this for a minute and just mention that I heard on some Twitter, or whatever. I'm going to keep calling it Twitter. I'm not going to call it the other thing. I'm going to call it Twitter. I heard on Twitter that we are going to be really surprised with those that have committed crimes against humanity. It's not only going to be the elite. It's not only going to be the bloodlines or those that have hurt children and humans and creatures on the earth. It's going to be maybe your neighbor, maybe the CEO of a company, and they're just going to disappear. And this resonated with me. I felt like this is already beginning, because it's not just 1,000 people that have committed crimes. It's more like hundreds of thousands of people that committed crimes, because willingly there are those out there that injured other humans, and they did it for money. They did it for wealth. They did it for themselves. And apparently they're just going to disappear. They're going to be executed. This is a real thing. This is not made up. So the cronies that you're saying, it's not only going to be the WEF, it's going to be a lot of these not everyday Joes, those that were doing very well, maybe they were profiting from crimes against humanity. Now, I did hear about this chef that died in the swimming pool, or they died in a body of water, and they were a chef. And I heard about some of these chefs that were for the elite were actually cooking. It was cannibalism. They were cooking humans. And so maybe they were going to rat them out. Maybe they were going to be a whistleblower, and then they died. They were killed. The chefs suicided. I really wish visit from Europe. My world any worse. Well, we're going to be saying that we're coming from a place of beauty and love and hope. And that's the world, and peace and goodness. And that's where we're going. And we're bringing up some of these topics because I'm bringing them up because I want there to be awareness. Now, sometimes I get out of the loop because I'm dealing with other issues in my life, or I'm my job in the Matrix kept me very busy for the last 2 weeks. And I had some health issues, but then I get back on it, and then I discover there's some subjects that I haven't mentioned. And so I might be a little bit behind the 8 ball, so I apologize. They only have the ability to change your world if you... Yes, I believe that we can personally, we can have a huge effect not only on ourselves, but others based on our thoughts, based on our actions. You know, I say to have alignment, which are our thoughts, words, and our actions. And when we have alignment and when we're clear, we will have synchronicity, we'll have validation, we will be able to manifest. We're going to get into manifesting. Okay. It's creating that the best good of the most resourceful, the betterment of most. You know, it's so funny because you think like little acts of kindness don't make a difference, and they do. You know, everything you do is having some kind of vibrational effect. And every time that you do something for someone else, you're raising your vibration. So just be aware of that. All right. So so the Federal Open Market Committee is meeting today, and they're talking about rolling out this digital currency. And Powell, who is the federal Fed chief, has this 2-day meeting, and they're speaking of anticipated recession and the devaluation of the dollar and this social credit score and censorship. So if you say or do something that the government doesn't like, it's going to affect your freedom. You will be blocked. You won't have any money. Now, BRICS, I've spoken about BRICS. BRICS, I'm not quite sure. Is it the New World Order BRICS? Because it is about digital money, the World Economic Forum, and they tell you what you can purchase. And there's 20 countries that are applying for it. So the BRICS is a number of countries. Let's see. I know I don't know if I have it all written out who BRICS is, but I know that China's involved in it, and I want to say Russia, South Africa, Brazil, and the I. Is it India? Maybe BRICS? But there's 20 countries applying. So it's digital currency money, like assets managed, stored, or exchanged on digital computing systems. So we would have no power. We wouldn't have any more power. And that's why I'm concerned about that. Love towards strangers is an experience is the greatest. Yes. Well, we have love for ourselves and love for others, right? So it's the grouping of the world economics: Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa. And as of August 2023, South Africa will host leaders of BRICS with this agenda summit. I'm just giving you awareness of what's going on out there. All right, so that's that. For all the information that I have about what's out there in the outer world, let's focus on the inner world. We're going to focus on our divine light and our 12 chakras, because that's how we're about to hit the 1 hour mark. So we're getting on to psychic phenomenon as well. Try and perfect companion to getting my home from my. All right. Well, thanks for joining us, everyone, tonight. All right. So divine light. Divine light is coming from a God source. Divine light is about purity and goodness. And I'm bringing this up tonight because of the 777 portal. It's the last day, and it's a great day to manifest. So we're going to be manifesting divine light tonight. And we're going to be we are realizing how valuable we are here on this planet, because every one of you makes a difference, whether you realize it or not. Every single time that you have a positive thought, it's a charged impulse. It carries an emotion. It carries a feeling, an emotion, and you are sending it out into the universe when you have a positive thought. We are creating positivity right now, here in this moment, right here in this moment. Let's have gratitude that we are alive and we are breathing and we are here. We are lucky to be here in this time, this age. This is a beautiful time to be alive. There's so much goodness that's possible. We're bringing more light onto the earth with our energy, with our frequency, with our positivity, working and practicing your clear senses. So, divine light, it's a sacred thought, it's a sacred possibility. That's what divine light is, it's goodness. We are able to today manifest in this portal. It's a portal. Now, you are a portal, whether you realize it or not. You're able to transcend to another dimension. You're able to access another realm if you choose to. And how can you do that? You can do that by imagining light surrounding you, a band of light. Maybe it's from the floor to the ceiling. Maybe it's just this big, but you're visualizing light spinning around you. And you are spinning in the opposite direction. And that is how you're going to create a portal to another dimension. Maybe you're going to communicate with an extraterrestrial. Maybe you'll be able to reach remote viewing. Maybe you're going to leave the planet. It might just bring you to a place of freedom from negativity and darkness. Now, I have through the years realized by focusing on light, whether it's when I say I'm circling myself with light, circling others with light, visualizing light in the interior of my vessel. What is in the interior of your vessel? You have flesh, you have bones, you have organs, you have your chakras. Now, it's not just the physical. You have the spiritual aspect of you. You have the emotional aspect of you. You have the mental aspect of you. There's a lot to you. Out here, when we're speaking, what we see with our physical eyes, there's also what we see with our chakra, our third eye chakra. There's so much to you. There's so many different avenues to finding yourself. And then when you bring all of it together, you are so powerful. Do you realize how powerful you are? Do you realize how much of a creator you are? You can create so much. You can create with your thoughts. You can create with your hands, with your mind, with your speaking, your expression, with your inner life that you have. If you meditate, if you visualize, are you with me? Do you realize how amazing you are? You are a portal for so much. You can bring so much into your outer world. You can bring so much into your inner world. It's entirely up to you. You be the creator. You be the decider. These are suggestions. Now you can majorly shift right now. You have this ability. Why? Because there's so much disclosure going on. There's so much light on the earth. There's so much that you can actually tap into. You can tap into it out here in the physical realm by seeing vibrations, by feeling, by closing your eyes and accessing it. You can tap into so much potential in the physical and within you. Your cells. Now, when you damage your cells, maybe through sickness, and I'm saying you damage them because we can damage our cells. We can make ourselves sick through our thoughts, who we are actually in contact with in the physical outer world. We can make ourselves sick in circumstances if we're there too long. Maybe it's by what we say to others. We can heal ourselves as much as we can damage ourselves. We should right now start to realize that we have to begin to heal ourselves. Now, some of us are a little bit more resilient than others. We might do so much damage to ourselves that there's no coming back. I don't believe that, though. I believe that we can always heal. So let's be aware of that. I'm just bringing awareness to this. So you know that this is a possibility. We can also cause harm to ourselves by maybe the foods we eat, what we drink, our addictions. So we have a lot of control over our lives, whether we realize it or not. So let's begin to heal ourselves mentally, physically, emotionally. If you feel off balance, if you realize that, you know what, I don't think that's a good idea anymore. There's going to be signs that things are not a good idea for you. Maybe it's going to come through your thoughts and you just deny it. No, 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 I'm going to keep doing that because I want to. I like it. But you're going to realize it's maybe hurting you. Just be aware. We want to raise our frequency and our vibration. So let's begin to expose ourselves to divine light. Hey, Trident. Such a strong gut feeling, and I tend to agree with that remark, but by the same token, do not want a social credit score. I don't want a social credit score either. That means that if they don't like what I'm saying, I mean, I will fail that. I will totally fail. So let's expose ourselves to divine light, divine radiance, divine intervention. And when I say expose, it's going to directly come from, and I bring up angels, you know that. So maybe it's going to come through angels. Angels are beings of light. They come from the heavens to earth, and they're here to protect humanity. They're immortal. They're messengers. They're guides. They're protectors. They ascend and descend on a staircase, and they carry with them goodness and purity. They're benevolent. They're celestial beings, and they have light. So we're going to ask for different ways for lights to come into our world, ourselves, externally, internally, because divine light from the Supreme Being is good, it's heavenly, it's benevolent, it supersedes all divine energies, transcends, omnipresent. It's going to be perfect goodness, unity. So there's 12 divine powers. There's wisdom, faith, enthusiasm, power, imagination, understanding, love, order, strength, release, and will. There's 4 dimensions of energies. There's the physical, emotional, spiritual, and mental. So divine energy, it means when you have divine energy, it means all charitable, all forgiving, all understanding. So if we want to ask for divine guidance, what are some ways or possibilities for us to achieve that? That would come through as you would ask for divine guidance by allowing to be guided. And how are you going to know it's divine guidance? You're going to sense it. You're going to know. It's going to touch you in a way like that dream that I had. And it wasn't even a dream. I was awake last week. And I mentioned it on the one video I did last week. And it was so powerful that it seemed real. And maybe I was transported. I'm not quite sure. I was awake. I closed my eyes. And it was as if, I'm going to remind you what the dream was or what the vision was. My head was in the clouds. I literally was seeing in the clouds. Now, I wear contacts. I wear glasses. So somehow I saw everything so vividly. It was so powerful. It was as if my head was up. I was up in the clouds. I saw clouds. They were moving by me, and this enormous amount of birds traveled right by my face. There was thousands of them, and I saw them and felt them like it was wind. it was very powerful coming through. The sky was blue, there was clouds, and it was divine. It was definitely from the heavens. It was definitely from God. It was it was a higher power. And the birds traveled past my head in one direction this way and then back this way. And I said, that was validation. I'm in the right place. So you will have some kind of validation that will come through. Divine energies will come through. So if you ask for divine guidance, you shall receive this. So there's divine guidance will guide you. It's going to remind you to live in the present. When we live in the present, which means that we are here always. So let's do that right now. Let's have a reminder to be in the present. So we're going to have gratitude for this moment, which means that I'm so thankful. Maybe we have to say it out loud. I'm so thankful right now to be here. I am really, and that's true. I have no doubt about that. No matter what's going on, I'm having gratitude. If I'm having a miserable moment, I'm having gratitude for this moment. Because guess what? That's how life is, the highs and lows, right? It's not going to all be fantastic. That's how we learn. That's how we gain wisdom, is through experiences. And every experience is not going to be perfect and wonderful. There might be some kind of unhappiness, and that's okay. I'm okay with that. And 3 is trust your intuition, which means that we are, hey, what does Bob Hardy say? Group of divine warriors, I reconnect with every summary process. That's lovely, let alone a regular one. Thanks for sharing, everyone. All right, so trust your intuition, which means what? And anyone who's joining us, I hope you like the video and subscribe to the channel. And I'm going to talk about psychic phenomenon in 2 seconds. I'm just almost done here with divine. So when you trust your intuition, that means that your gut is going to tell you, you have a knowing, you have it. If you are open, I'm making a suggestion for you to be completely open in your heart. Have an open heart and open mind, which means your intuition, your gut reaction, you're not thinking it. You're not saying, well, what should I do? Your gut knows. You know what you should do. If it's a big decision, you already have the answer. If you have to hem and haw and you have to ask 50 people, then you're not trusting your intuition. Trusting your intuition means that you're listening to your inner voice. You have an inner voice that's going to guide you. Please trust your intuition, your knowing. What is your senses telling you? If you get sick over something, then you shouldn't do it. Your body is going to tell you yes or no. Maybe you want to journal. Get a little composition book and write things down. Again, have gratitude. And then time in nature. Okay, so that's how you ask for divine guidance. You're going to ask. Maybe you're going to physically ask for it. Please guide me. Please, God source. Please, nature. Whatever you resonates with you. Maybe it's God. Maybe you say Jesus Christ. Please guide me. You're going to trust your intuition. You're going to spend time in nature. You're going to journal. You're going to trust. You're going to live in the present moment. All right, so psychic phenomenon. Psychic phenomenon feels like, to me, it's blowing up right now. I sense that more and more, and I don't know if it's true, my intuition is telling me right now, hey, Elsa, how are you? She's just leaning right there. She's like taking a little nappy. I believe that there's more and more individuals out there that are beginning to tune into their psychic phenomenon, their intuition, their intuitive abilities. And pretty soon, no one's going to need me to say this anymore. Because to me, I realize that the veil has been lifted, and I know we see on the news, if you watch the news, I don't, but I know the news shuffles out information and it's whatever the government wants you to believe and it's propaganda. But I know that more and more individuals are open because in my job in the matrix, my 9 to 5 job, I'll just start talking about something related to my intuition or psychic phenomenon, and people aren't shutting it down anymore. They're listening. And I've even done it at the gym, wherever I am. I'm just speaking my mind now. I'm not even censoring myself. And people are like, really? And they're listening? Oh. And at my job in the matrix, I'm actually working as a healer and an intuitive, and people are asking me about it. And they weren't asking. And these are very mainstream people. And they're asking me about it more. So I know that the consensus, what I'm saying is the vibration is raising. And from what I understand, we are actually, now that we hit this portal, this 777 portal, we are getting to the fourth dimension across the globe. Now, I speak of the fifth dimension. And the fifth dimension is living more and more in love and light and forgiveness. And that's what the fifth dimension, when I say the fifth dimension timeline, that's what it is. Now, we grew up in, most of us were existing in this 3 dimension, which was about suffering and consumerism and capitalism and not a place of light. It was more about pushing people out of the way and the systems of the planet. The pharmaceutical, the medical, the history, what the history was, which is made up because we don't really know. The other civilizations were exterminated, so those history books were made to give a certain representation of the past. We don't know really the past. It's being uncovered. We're learning about ancient civilizations. We're also learning that extraterrestrials have been here for a very long time, and they might be ruling our planet in inner Earth or through an AI off planet. There are these AIs that are monopolizing certain corporations and telling them what to do. And that is all artificial. So I believe that we should focus on our intuition. We should focus on our clairsenses. So let's do that right now. Anyone who's joining us, I hope you like the video and subscribe to the channel. I mentioned my clairaudience, my hearing. And what exactly is that? Well, that's the psychic ability to hear or listen to spirits or communicate through basically from another source, receiving information from another source. Now, we all have this ability to receive information. And the information is going to come through like you're a channel. When you receive information through your clairsenses, so maybe it's your seeing, your clairvoyance. Maybe it's hearing, your clairaudience. Maybe it's your feeling, your clairsustenance or clair empathy, empathic. Maybe it's your claircognizance, all of them at once, your knowing. It's like, if I was to say what it physically looks like, if you could imagine, well, just imagine, for example, let's say we say the location of the Grand Canyon. And so the Grand Canyon has all these rocks, and let's just say there's something going on in the Grand Canyon right now. And I'm sitting here and I'm operating on my frequency, my vibration, and there's something in the Grand Canyon going on, and it's operating on the same frequency as me. Maybe a rock falls. Maybe there is some kind of Native American there and is doing some kind of uh, ceremony. I'm just giving a. Let's say, for example, that information, that occurrence that's going on in the Grand Canyon comes through to me because I'm operating on the same frequency and I hear something there. So it's coming to me. That's the source. I'm trying to describe it so you understand what this means. So it's basically it's a pathway to me. And or maybe you could say it's a portal. I'm a portal to receive that information. And that's what our clairsenses are doing. Our clairsenses are a portal. Our clairsenses are a pathway to receive information. So we are operating, so you might be receiving information that's going to be gained from your frequency. You're going to be receiving information because you operate on a certain vibration. And it's all energy. So it's exciting because we don't know what we're going to receive. And that's why we do these little clair sense exercises, because it's practicing, it's opening up that part of you, it's stretching you, it's making it like I'm telling you that it's acceptable. Because out in this physical outer world, it might not be something that everyone's saying that's a possibility. They're like, oh, that's silliness, or you can't do that. Everyone can do this. The more you practice, the more you're going to receive all kinds of information. And it's going to be valuable to you because you are actually on a journey right now. You're discovering your abilities. You're discovering who you are. You're not just some plain old being here on earth that's going to a 9-to-5 job, or, walking down the street, or driving in your vehicle, your car. You are somebody that is able to access other locations, learn wisdom, maybe hear ancient information or data. Maybe you're going to travel while you're sleeping in the astral realm. Maybe you're going to be a healer. Maybe you're going to be someone who helps people or guides them. We don't know. We're all discovering this. We just began this journey together. All right, so let's close our eyes and let's uncross our legs and let's sit on our bottom, put all our weight in our bottom, and let go of any kind of tension that you have in you, in your physical body. Because the less tension, the less attachments we have, the more gratitude we have for this moment, the more we are going to receive. Like I said, we're a transmitter, we're sending, and we're also a receiver. So sometimes our exercises we're receiving and sometimes we're sending. All right, we're going to let out a breath. We're going to be like a rag doll. We're going to let go of any tension that we have. We're going to let all of the energies flow out of our hands, through our fingertips. Maybe we want to relax our jaw, push away any thoughts we have. Inhale and exhale. I'd like you to imagine that your the bottom of your root chakra, the base of your spine, is traveling down into the earth's surface, so you ground yourself. Even your feet, imagine your feet firmly planted in the earth's surface, so that we get the most out of this exercise. All right, so we're going to inhale and exhale 3 times. We're relaxing. So we're going to inhale exhale. I'd like you to try to have some stillness within your inner life. You're holding a space within you. And so maybe this stillness is going to be you see light within your physical vessel. Maybe you're just going to feel more quiet. And now I'd like you to drop down into your physical vessel. Have quiet. Push away any thoughts or any doubt that you can do this. Right? I'd like you to focus on having concentration and choose one of your clear senses, and I'm going to give you a suggestion. Now, you're always allowed to do whatever you want here. Maybe you want to choose more than one of your clear senses. Maybe it's touch, maybe it's smell, maybe it's taste, maybe it's feeling or seeing. If you want to activate your third eye chakra, you're moving in a circular motion and imagining that you're opening up a portal, opening up your third eye. Maybe you're imagining light, asking for it, and maybe you're hearing, you're listening. So you decide whichever clear sense that you would like. So your claircognizance, your sight, the physical ability of knowing about certain situations, people, places, present or future, it's a lot. Hearing, seeing, feeling. Okay, and now I'm going to make a suggestion. I'm going to tell you, it's personally, I'm going to be hearing, I'm going to be feeling, and I'm going to try to do seeing. I'm going to make the suggestion right now. I want to stay within our topics today. I'm going to suggest that you're going to imagine a ball of light completely surrounding you. And let's see what comes through for your clear senses. So it's a huge ball of light and it's surrounding you. And you choose what that means. And I'm going to do that myself. I'm making that suggestion. Okay, so I don't know what experience you had. So the experience that I had, okay, I'm going to read the comments in 1 second. The experience that I had was first it was like um, I was being told no. So it was almost like there was another energy when I did this that I was hearing this. So it was coming through in my hearing. That's what I was hearing. No, you can't do that. And then, so it took me some time to try to get away from that. And then what I saw it was very interesting. I saw myself in this light, but I felt so much vibration on my hands. It was almost like the ball was right here in front of me. And it was really distracting. It was so powerful. And then I saw the spinning ball of light that I was in. It was almost as though I was seated in this. I was hearing that this was a way for me to be transported. So this ball of light was actually a way for me to be transported to another dimension. And it was spinning, and it was just very, that's all I saw. There was nothing in the ball of light. There was no one else. It was just this ball of light it was like a spaceship. And it was spinning, and I was in it. And it was so much that it was almost too much for me to bear. Like I wanted to get out of it. So I don't know if anyone else had any experiences. Let's see. I've got to go now because this was an hour and a half. Let's see. People who are extremely open to my. I feel very blocked to learning or teaching to what could or should be shared with you. You feel blocked to learn or teach to what? Really? Really, Bob Harding? I wonder why. I have a. I'm not really quite sure I understand what you wrote. You feel blocked. Okay, well, you know what? Then you know what? Don't pressure things. I say when things aren't progressing, or I sense that it's not working, take a break. It's not good to push things. All right, everyone who's joining us, I hope you like the video and subscribe. Before I go, I want to just mention, I haven't mentioned this in a while, is minerals from the earth, gemstones. Here's a clear crystal quartz. Here's carnelian. Here's amazonite. Here's black obsidian. So sometimes this brings you energy, maybe one of these, or positivity. These might be considered healing for you. You lay down and you place some on your body parts. I want to just mention the chakras before we go. So here we have the sacral chakra, solar plex chakra, root chakra, root chakra, sacral chakra, solar plex, heart chakra, throat chakra, third eye chakra, crown chakra. And then beyond that, I want to remind you about below our feet is the earth chakra, the earth star chakra, 12 inches below our feet, which is connection for balance, healing, activation, oneness. And then above our heads, we have the soul star chakra, the spirit chakra, the universal chakra, the galactic chakra, and the divine chakra. So there's 12 chakras. And if you want to travel outside dimensionally, what you want to do is you want to focus a ball of light above your head to whatever chakra that you would like to connect with. Like I said, crown, soul, spirit, universal, galactic, divine. The divine galactic chakra will connect you to light portals, connection to divine source. All right, everyone, I'm going to spin. Oh, make a ball of light, rub your hands together. Cup your hands and bring light around you. I'm suggesting this to bring more light onto the earth. It's energy. We can bring energy onto the earth. I'm rubbing my hands up. I frequently receive an energy of a chalice. Participate in. Thank you so much for sharing that, Bob Harding. Okay, I'm spinning light and you're in the center of it. You're making a wish. I don't know when I'm going to be back again. Probably later in the week. Maybe Friday night, and you're in the middle, and I'd like you to make a wish. I want good things for you. You're a beautiful being of light. Doesn't matter where you live, what you have, what you do, or what you look like. You are beautiful as is. Cherish yourself. Have self-worth, and self-love. Okay, I'm sending light to you. I'm spinning light. Make your own Merkaba. You spin light in one direction, and you spin light. You spin in one direction and the light spins in another. Okay? You're a beautiful being in light. I'm sending you light. I'm spinning it around you. I'm sending it to everyone. Be well. Bye. Have a great night. I hope you like the video and subscribe. Bye, everyone. Bye, Trident. Bye, Music. Bye, Bob Harding. Bye, Ginny. Bye, anyone else who is here tonight. Thank you. You guys are awesome.